and welcome to Story Time Today. The book I've chosen today is called Giraffes Can't Dance, written by Giles, Andreae and illustrated by Guy Parker-Reeves. Let's get started. Giraffes Can't Dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango, which was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all laughed. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, don't be daft." Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. Then one by one each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How is it you can dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twizzled round and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." Now I'm going to ask you some questions to see what you can remember about the story. Be sure to press pause in between each question to give yourself time to think and answer. What adjectives or describing words does the author use to describe Gerald's neck? The author describes Gerald's knees as awfully bandy. What do the words awfully bandy mean to you? Something happens every year in Africa. What is it? In the beginning of the story, it says that Gerald is a really bad dancer. What clues has the author given to show you that Gerald is a bad dancer? How does Gerald feel when he shows up at the jungle dance? How do you know this? Why do you think Gerald crept off from the dance floor? If you were Gerald, what would you have done? All of the other animals assumed that because Gerald was so clumsy, he couldn't dance. Is that a good assumption for them to make? Why or why not? What did Gerald realise after speaking with the cricket? In the end, why was Gerald able to dance? Now this question might take a little bit of thinking. Gerald does not believe in himself, but cricket believes in him. Have you ever been in a similar situation where you didn't think you could do something, but a friend or parent did? Turn to a partner next to you and discuss what this was. My final question today for you to think about is this. All people have similarities and differences. How can being different from others be a positive thing? Thanks for joining in Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed Giraffes Can't Dance as much as I did, and I'll see you at the next Storytime.